Growing old is natural occurrence that no human can escape from. The old lady that was once a charming princess, the infant today will grow old tomorrow. In this life, everything we do comes back at later age. The way you treat the elderly today will determine how you will be treated when you grow old. Therefore, it is very important to show respect to the elderly so that when you grow old, others will respect you too. In many ways, life gets better with age, sometimes surprisingly so. The common belief is that a person's overall sense of well being goes downhill as he or she gets older. But researchers are finding, and many older people themselves are discovering that this is not necessarily the case. For example, as we age, wisdom and understanding can flourish, intelligence can develop, and expertise can deepen, which can enhance creativity and productivity. Friendships can become more meaningful as the passing year teach us to prioritize what matters most. One Stanford University professor said, quote, contrary to the popular view that youth is the best time of life, the peak of emotional life may not occur until well into the seventh decade. Close quote. While youth may have advantages, good things can come with age. Do we, as a nation, as an individual, show respect to our older and wiser generation? As many of the baby boomers reach their golden years and join the seniors before them, how should they be treated? Many are reaching the autumn years of their life. It should be the golden years, but is it? Should the elderly be penalized because of their age, or should they be honored? I've had this on my mind for a while now concerning how we should respect or the lack of it towards the elderly in our society. We need to show respect to them because it's very important. As someone growing up with the hope that I will also grow old someday and join the seniors, I am reminded of how quickly life passes you by. Life is a vapor, as stated in James chapter 4, verse 14. Quote, you are just a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. Close quote. But are the golden years truly golden years for many of our seniors? The elderly in our lives were held in high esteem, and they were often sought out for advice about love, marriage, home remedies for illnesses, and life itself. As important members of our families, old folks were not only a source of advice and guidance, but they also helped raise our children. However, a complete change has taken place when it comes to the elderly people and the place they hold in today's society. They are no longer involved in the rearing of their grandchildren and have been replaced by daycare centers, the internet, televisions, and video games. Growing up, I lived with my grandparents, and those were one of the amazing and wonderful days of my life. They showed me love, they cared for me, and they taught me valuable lessons that are still meaningful to me today. The sense of family unity, love of community, respect, and care of our fellow man instilled in children by their grandparents have all been lost in the absence of this valuable source of knowledge and experience. So, how do we show respect to the elderly amongst us? May I suggest some few ways we can show respect to the elderly? First, address them properly. Use the name they want to be called. Unless they tell you something otherwise, call them Mr. or Mrs. followed by the last name. If they want you to call them by their first name, honor their request. Second, speak clearly and without slang. Nowadays, because of communication ease of communication and technologies were used to typing messages in short forms or speaking in shortened forms or slangs. The elderlies that grew up in the days when these things were in there, they get confused and they don't understand when you use that in their presence, and it makes them feel disconnected from what is happening. And so your friends might understand mumblings filled with latest slangs, but don't expect someone much older than you to get what you are trying to say. Another way to show love is to show respect to the elderly, sorry, is to show you love for them. If the elderly person is a grandparent, aunt, uncle, or other family member, show that you love them sincerely. Offer to give a hug or say something affectionate. Ask questions about your ancestors, about their past life. Ask to put together a photo album or something that has to do with precious family memories. You'll be amazed how enriching the experience can be, and you'll most likely learn something new about your family. These are things that someday you too, when you grow old, you will also love to share with your children and grandchildren. Next, show good manners. Most of our elderly ones were taught proper etiquette when they were children, and they deserve good manners from you in return. Always say please and thank you. They need to know that the generations following them are civil enough to carry on. My grandmother is a very good example of such attitude. When she was growing up, she was taught to eat without talking. And so whenever I'm eating with her, she will always emphasize, don't talk when you are eating with me, and chew with your mouth full. At first, I felt irritated by those comments and always cautioning me on that. But later, as time went on, I got used to it, and eating with my grandmother has always been fun for me. And so they may not get used to the modern things we are enjoying now, but we can get used to what they used to be like in their own days, and then help them understand what things are. And then we'll go accordingly and we'll show respect. Offer assistance. When an elderly person approaches an entrance to a building, hold the door, allow him or her to go first. Offer to reach something on a high or low shelf in a store at home. Be aware of any disability the person may have and help according to what he or she needs. Anything you do to make their lives easier will be greatly appreciated. My call to you today is that you will grow old, and so it's important that you show respect to the elderly ones. So when you see an elderly one, don't think they are less important because they are old. Show respect to them, and as you do so, you also will be greatly respected. After all, respect, they say, is reciprocal. Thank you.